Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh Bulk Drug Infrastructure Corporation Limited, I, Sabrina, welcome you all to the Bulk Drug Industry Interactive Meet 2022. I would like to extend my welcome to various stakeholders on the bulk drug and pharma industries, friends from the media, dignitaries from the government of Andhra Pradesh, and the wonderful set of audience sitting here. I would like to thank you all for your presence today. First, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together while I call on stage Shri Ravi Uday Bhaskar Garu, Director General, Pharmexcel. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him on stage? I think he's expecting the claps to continue. Only then he'll be coming on stage. Sir, please. I would also request, sir, please, I'm going to call all your friends on stage. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much, sir, to be here. Let us welcome you very graciously. Can we have a bouquet for him? And let us welcome him with a bouquet of flowers. Now, I would like to request Dr. Girish Sani, former Director General, CSIR, Government of India, to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him with a huge round of applause? Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. We have with us Shri Ishwar Reddy Garu also, Executive Director, Bulk Drug Manufacturers Association of India. Can we please request him to join us on stage? Thank you for your presence, sir. We welcome you, sir. Now I request Dr. Ashwin Kumar, former Director, National Chemical Laboratories, to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him with a huge round of applause? Thank you, Doctor, to be here today. I would now request Dr. A.V. Chainulu, former Director, DSIR, Government of India, to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome him with a huge round of applause. Welcome, sir, and thank you for being here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Shri M.S. Shankar Prasad Garu, Advisor, Andhra Pradesh Bulk Drug Park. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him on stage? So a hearty welcome to all our dignitaries standing over here. I would take this opportunity to even mention that we have few dignitaries who are virtually present with us too. So let our claps reach wherever they are, all right? We have virtually present Srimati Srijana Gummala Garu, IAS and Vice Chancellor, Managing Director, APIIC. Let us hear it for her. I hope she's listening to our claps. And we also have virtually present with us Mr. Rene Van Berkel, Representative and Heads of Regional Office, UNIDO. Welcome, ma'am, once again. Thank you for being here, virtually present. I think maybe we are standing on the stage, but you have taken the screen. So you're quite prominent to all of us, all right? Do we have Srimati Rita Kaul, the General Manager of IFCI, also along with us? Virtually, let us see if we can connect with her.
Yeah, I'm there. Good evening, everybody.
Loud and clear, can we hear it for her too? All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we have introduced, all our dignitaries are present virtually and physically present over here. And now we move on to a very, very important session of the evening before moving forward. Now, I'll say a few lines and you will understand what this session is all about. The warm, bright glow emitted from a diya or lamp is considered auspicious. It represents enlightenment, prosperity, knowledge, and wisdom. On that note, let us begin this evening with the lighting of the lamp ceremony. And to do the honors, we have a wonderful set of dignitaries. I request you to please step forward for the lighting of the lamp ceremony. It's an absolute wonderful way to start the evening. Thank you so much to our dignitaries to have helped us start this evening with utmost enlightened way. All right, I request you all to please take your seats so that we proceed with the evening. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Indian pharmaceutical industry is the third largest in the world by volume. In order to make the country self-reliant in APIs and drug intermediates, the Department of Pharmaceuticals under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India, has launched a scheme, Promotion of Bulk Drug Parks, to provide grant and aid for creation of common infrastructure facilities in 3 bulk drug parks to significantly bring down the manufacturing cost of bulk drugs and increase the competitiveness of domestic bulk drug industry. Andhra Pradesh, along with 12 other states, had applied under this scheme in October 2020. And we are happy to inform you that Government of India, Department of Pharmaceuticals has given in principle approval for providing grant and aid to the proposed bulk drug park in Andhra Pradesh. Government of Andhra Pradesh aims to set up the bulk drug park as a state-of-the-art facility with modern capabilities, with utmost focus on innovation and quality management, and special emphasis on fermentation-based APIs. Before finalizing the project, the government is keen to take inputs from the industry majors on various aspects, including project structuring, technology intervention, and value creation. Hence, we all are gathered here. And once again, thank you all for being here at the Bulk Drug Industry Interactive Meet 2022. Now, taking this meet forward, I would like to call our keynote speaker, Srimati Srijana Gummala Garu, IAS, VCN MD, APIIC, who is on the election duty, so hence could not be physically present. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for being, but I'll take few more moments over here. I'm sure I cannot dare to, do justice for giving a small speech about what you have accomplished, but I'll just give it a try in few lines. Srimati Srijana Gummala Garu is a 2013 Group IAS officer of Andhra Pradesh cadre. She was a joint collector and additional district magistrate, Visakhapatnam district, and has been later posted as Commissioner, Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation. In a career spanning over just 6 years, she has shown what it takes to become an officer who can take decisions meant to help the people and industry and to take them forward. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for the very kind words. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. A very good evening to everybody. On behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh, I welcome all the delegates here. Since we're talking about pharma, Andhra Pradesh, as you all know, has a presence of many global and national pharma players in our state. But I might say that with no exaggeration that we can tout ourselves as the pharmacists of the country, if not the world, which will be there very soon. It's been a constant endeavor to make this experience of any investor, let alone pharma, a very smooth one. Our simplified procedures, hassle-free approvals, and addressing burdensome compliances have, I think, has made it possible, and we're constantly evolving our ecosystem for the better. And I can proudly say, which is why probably our rank stands testimony in the ease of doing business in the country. And also, probably, which is why we are here discussing about the bulk drug park, where we were pitched against 12 different states and we still emerge as winners. So our procedures, our ecosystem is testimony to that. And I'm very glad to be here with you. Today, we are here to discuss about the bulk drug park, which aims at ensuring uninterrupted supply of quality drugs, as was said earlier in the day. And Government of Andhra Pradesh is proposing to set up the state-of-art facilities with a focus on innovation with modern capabilities, and as I've already said, to be the pharmacist to the world. We are already for the country, but we will aim to be doing better. The basic infrastructure, of course, is underway, and the details of it would be given as the session progresses. So I was only asked to welcome the delegates because we are here more for listening than telling about ourselves. We, of course, will be telling about the project, and we would be glad to take advices on how to better structure it and how to better take it forward. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would have, how much ever I would have wished to be there physically present. Nevertheless, I'm happy that I could make it today, at least virtually. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear it for ma'am. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, now for a special address, it gives me immense pleasure to invite our chief guest for today, Shri Gudivada Amarnath Garu, Honorable Minister for Industries, Infrastructure, Investment and IT, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Well, he is unable to join us physically here, but of course, virtually he is present. We welcome you, sir. I hope we are audible to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'll take a few more moments, sir, before you take it from here. Sir was elected as the MLA from Anakapalli Assembly constituency in 2019 to Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly representing the state government. He won the Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation polls and got elected as a corporator in 2006 at an age of 21. Later, he worked as a member of Visakhapatnam District Planning Commission. So we welcome you, sir, and over to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. All the dignitaries in the meeting and the people who are all around in the virtual, listening from all different parts of the world. I welcome on behalf of the state of Andhra Pradesh Am I audible? Hello?
So you are audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of this government of Andhra Pradesh, under the dynamic leadership of Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu, you all know Andhra Pradesh has played a critical role in putting India on the pharma map of the world. With 300 plus pharma units, 10 plus pharma focused parks, an entire ecosystem in place, state contributes to over 20% share in the pharma sales in India and is amongst the top three states in pharma exports. We are almost exporting around $1 billion from the state of Andhra Pradesh. And as you all know, we have ranked number one in Andhra Pradesh has abundant skill manpower. Almost we have 128 pharmaceutical colleges, produce over 11,000 highly skilled personnel annually. Leveraging on its position and to ensure health security of the country, Andhra Pradesh submitted a very competitive proposal under Central Promotion of Bulk Drug Parks. Under the leadership of Jagannath Reddy Garu, we are setting up an state-of-art integrated smart bulk drug park in Kakinada. Taking the industry and interest in mind and basis which the state has received in principle approval, and we thank our Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India for the approval. On behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh, I would like to convey a sincere thanks to Scheme Steering Committee and Government of India for putting our proposal favorably. The proposed site of Bulk Drug Park has excellent multimodal connectivity, including proximity to two seaports, proposed Bharatmala road connectivity, which is almost 11 kilometers away from National Highway, a dedicated railway link, which is almost 11 kilometers, Kolkata, Chennai main line, and the project is expected to generate significant direct and indirect induced jobs. The direct jobs are expected to be almost to be 30,000. The state has also passed a specific bulk drug policy to attract the industry to the state. The bulk drug park will have best-in-class common infrastructure facilities, including CETP, with marine outfall at subsidized rates, ready-to-use land at very competitive rates, single window clearances, and several incentives to benefit the industry, including which includes almost 100% net GST for a period of 10 years, the date of commencement, from the date of commencement of commercial production, and the reimbursement of 100% stamp duty for the lease of land or shed buildings, whatever, and other mortgages and hypothecations. A reimbursement of 50% of registration charges of various countries for product approval, such as USA FDA, EDQM EU, PMDA Japan, MHRA UK, IMB Ireland, TGA Australia, Health Canada, and support 10% of cost of establishing of technology and research institutes in the state of with coordination with leading institutions and other educational institutions as industry limited to 5 crore with appropriate financial infrastructure and other support mechanisms. For new MSMEs, interest subsidy of 3% on the term loan taken for fixed capital investments for 5 years from the date of commencement of commercial production, and all other incentives applicable as per AP Industrial Policy 2023. I am confident that the financial support towards creation of common infrastructure in the bulk drug policy and policy interventions from Government of India, along with various incentives and support of Government of Andhra Pradesh, will help industry to lower the manufacturing cost and facilitate optimal utilization of We are thankful to all of you for participating in today's event. I hope that you would avail the opportunities available in Andhra Pradesh and make the upcoming AP Bulk Drug Park your new home. thereby help our nation to achieve health security by becoming self-reliant in manufacturing bulk drugs. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. There was a little technical glitch, but I hope the major part of his talk was understood. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let us move on to our next speaker. We have with us virtually present Mr. Rene van Berkel, who is a representative of United Nations Industrial Development Organization. UNIDO is a specialized agency of the UN with a unique mandate to promote and accelerate sustainable industrial and economic development. And to talk on the same, we have Mr. Rene van Berkel. I hope you can hear us, sir.
Kind introduction. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister, Mr. Gudivada Annamnath, and the VC and MD of APIS. Let me first and foremost, on behalf of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, also congratulate State of Andhra Pradesh for being able to host and being selected as one of the sites for the bulk drug manufacturing hub cluster, which is to be established as a park. And I think that with that congratulations comes also then the recognition that the work now really starts. So now putting it all into practice will be the challenge. So as was introduced, I represent the UNIDO, the specialized agency of the UN, and we work on inclusive and sustainable industrial development. So we deal across different sectors on the issues of productivity, quality, and on the issues of innovation, on the issues of environment and sustainability, and also on the quality of work and the rewards for people and the communities. We have some engagements in the drug sector, in the pharmaceutical sector. Right now, we work quite extensively on energy efficiency, including in the Medak cluster, which is relatively close, just across the border. Then also in Ankleshwar, which is a drug intermediate, and in Sikkim. In Sikkim, we supported just to show that energy efficiency and so on also makes good sense. We in 22 units invested something like close to 300 lakhs rupees on just low-cost energy efficiency measures, which had generated energy savings of 275 lakhs. So that's almost a year. One payback was in just over 1 year, and saved them quite a lot of energy. We're also looking at the renewables that could be included. We have installed solar thermal in Pondicherry on one of the pharmaceutical units there. So quite a lot of work on the technology and environment related. I think the challenge right now is to make sure that if we set up new industrial infrastructure, that we do so that it's fit for the 21st century. And as we sort of leave or put the pandemic a bit behind us, then it's quite clear that there are a number of big drivers around. So it's the digitalization. So I would certainly encourage that digital technologies and capabilities be highly put on the agenda for this new park. And digital will be in terms of the deep data. So also in the pharmaceutical supply chains, everybody can see what you're doing, even if you're an API manufacturer or a supplier to that. You will have the deep dive with blockchain and related issues, but it's also an opportunity to precisely manufacture and adopt new technologies, which are referred to as Industry 4.0, digitally enabled manufacturing on much smaller scales with new technologies, which are also known sometimes as green chemistry, green engineering type of approaches. I think the second component, which is clear, is that there's no way out. Zero carbon is ultimately the goal. We need to get to net zero carbon, and resource efficiency, the green transition. And I would strongly encourage that setting up new industrial infrastructure should then also follow the principles of an eco-industrial park. So create the environmental infrastructure of effluent treatment, waste management, look at all the facilities, the transport and energy provision in a way that can be done. And this is quite a strong area of work where UNIDO works together with International Finance Corporation, IFC, on guidelines on how to set up environmental and related infrastructure and industrial parks, and that could be applied to drug manufacturing sites as well. And then I think the third transition that we see, and it's maybe we saw it also during the pandemic, is that the sort of the reset of global value chains, and that some people might say that means just the relocation of production sites out of China into other places, which is an opportunity for India. But I guess the other component, which is perhaps even more important for the pharmaceutical industry, is that it brings together manufacturing, product development, and innovation again. So there is a lot of emphasis on bringing these components together. So we're not just doing contract manufacturing, but also contract research, contract development. And in that regard, if I may take just 30 seconds, we are just about to wrap up what is known as the National Manufacturing Innovation Survey with the Department of Science and Technology, and where we have also zoomed in on the pharma sector. And we find that there are opportunities for research collaboration are not really that well developed. So the processes need to be put in place so that we have a strong collaboration between manufacturers, pharma manufacturers, the brands, the research institutions, and also the government, and then the institutions supporting technical change and the partnerships that are there. I don't have much time to elaborate on this, but I would just like to wrap up maybe with saying that reiterating the congratulations on behalf of UNIDO, and stating that UNIDO would be willing to support the stakeholders in Andhra Pradesh to make this indeed a success. So thank you very much for your attention. I look forward to hearing the feedback from the different stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the virtual session, let us go to our speakers who are going to join us on stage. So let me welcome on stage Mr. Uday Bhaskar, who's the Director General of PharmExcel. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him? Ministry of Commerce and Industry, body to promote and support pharmaceutical exports. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Guruwad Amarnath, the VC and Managing Director, Srijana, and distinguished guests and representatives from the industry, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate the government of Andhra Pradesh for having this opportunity and the privilege to have a pharma park. As Minister have already mentioned that Andhra Pradesh, particularly from the days of United Andhra Pradesh, Andhra is known as bulk drug capital of India, and we are also very strong in vaccine manufacturing. Even after the separation, both the Telugu states are doing wonderful in the global arena. And we also have the top global generic companies in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, Dr. Reddy's, Aurobindo, Hetero, Lupin, and these are all located in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So really, it's a very great opportunity for government of Andhra Pradesh, and particularly moving in the direction of industrialization. So I'm not going to touch upon the industrialization aspect. I'm very much happy to associate with today's event is that I born and brought up in Kakinada, and the SCZ is also almost 1 hour drive from my house, and I also feel privileged to be part of this inauguration. And we are always ready to extend our support, working in United Andhra Pradesh, and after that I deputed to Minister of Commerce and Industry as the Director General PharmExcel. Just I would like to touch upon 2-3 points about the global scenario as well as the Indian pharmaceutical industry, where our weaknesses and where our the strengths. You are all aware of that. It's a known fact That fact has made the Government of India to come up with the PLI scheme. Time and again, we need to know our weaknesses, then only you will realize how to address and how to resolve those weaknesses. We are all dependent on China. Almost 70% of our APIs are the KSMs, are the basic chemicals, are the solvents. Without using a single component imported from China, we are not in a position to manufacture any of our products. The reasons why we left the API industry to China, the first companies like Aurobindo and Dr. Reddy's and all these people have started manufacturing APIs in China. So, keeping view of the principles of the profit and loss, as well as the sustainability, we shifted from bulk drugs and API manufacturing to formulations. Now 75% of our exports are formulations and 13 to 14% of our exports are APIs. But it has led to a level of the dependence. For the information of the distinguished people over here, the Pharmaceuticals Export Promotion Council of India, with the support of Minister of Commerce, has conducted a study on reducing import dependence of KSMs, intermediates, and basic chemicals. Our ex-Director General CSIR is here, and most of the CSIR labs worked with us, and they were part of that study. Dr. Reddy's Life Sciences and all the government institutions are part of that study. That study is the basis for developing this PLI scheme. Of course, it is delayed, but I don't expect any delay further as far as this park is concerned. As you know that the Chinese chemical industry is 1.73 trillion chemical industry. The entire world is depending on them. So we have identified few products which are largely dependent. And if you are short of those products, we are going to have a national crisis with respect to health. The pharmaceutical industry is doing very well, particularly during the pandemic. We have exported 24.4 billion US dollars worth of drugs with 18% growth rate. This growth rate was happened after 10 years. It was never happened. The entire manufacturing sector is not doing well globally. Not only pharma, the entire manufacturing sector is not doing well. At that point of time, we exported $24.4 billion. In the next financial year, 21-22, we exported 24.64 billion US dollars. There is an increase of, marginal increase of exports. But if you see the dependence also, we are not only talking about the exports, you need to see the dependence. The dependence of India is not only on 50% is APIs and KSMs and basic chemicals, and the remaining 50% may be formulations. In the financial year 2021, we exported 6.99 billion US dollars worth of drugs, the APIs or the formulations or whatever it may be. That has increased to 9.44 billion US dollars in 21-22. We need to read very seriously. We are very late. Unfortunately, government has delayed the process. The Katos committee submitted their report in 2015. The committee itself said that there is a crying need to reduce the dependence and that there is a need to strengthen the Indian pharmaceutical industry with respect to the chemicals and active pharmaceutical ingredients. We are late for almost 6 years, but good. Finally, the government came up with the PLI scheme. Certainly, it's going to help. So, at this point of time, we need to move faster. My appeal to the Andhra Pradesh government is that let us not be very slow. And as per the Vice Chairman and Managing Director and our Honorable Minister, the ease of doing business and the things are moving very fast. It's true. But in these particular parks, If you see the realistic picture, most of the top industries have their own SEZs. They have a huge capacities. It's a big challenge. Once you start fast, the people will come to you. You need not confine only to the India. You need not confine only to the Telugu states. You have to organize roadshows. There are people who are showing interest to come to India if you provided this kind of a facility. This is going to help the pharmaceutical industry in so many ways. I think Aurobindo is known globally as one of the top exporters. And they also in that infrastructure, and L&T is also working with that pharma park. I think the combination of L&T and Aurobindo certainly will help this park to grow faster. With this, on behalf of Pharmaceuticals Export Promotion Council of India, we are always with you whatever way you want. And I am thankful to Mr. Shankar Prasad. He used to call me to Chandigarh when he was an advisor to Punjab. And sometimes he was an advisor to some other state. Now he came back to his own state and the state belongs to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. I'm sure everyone sitting over here has sunk in so much of information given by you. And of course, you'll have a lot of time to interact with the others. So ladies and gentlemen, now I request Dr. Girish Sani, former Director General, CSIR, and former Secretary, DSIR, to please join me on stage to address the set of audience. I'll just add another couple of lines on you, sir. He is a renowned personality in the life sciences industry and has initiated to start commercialization of CSIR technologies at the CSIR during his tenure. So over to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome him on stage?
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, esteemed colleagues, it's a great honor, privilege to be here today. We are on the cusp of a great, bold experiment. This will pave the way for many such bold experiments. Ultimately, in India, we all know that careful planning, intricate design probably is not highest priority. When we get a shock, then we move. But of course we move. Our history is replete. When we got shocks, grand changes were made. And this is part of the grand change that we need today, not only in bulk drugs of the chemical sort, but in biology, biopharma, biopharmaceuticals. Similar experiments scaled up needs to be carried on. But this state, the Andhra Pradesh state, erstwhile, then divided, the people are the same, full of vigor, energy. 10, 15, 20 years ago, when I was in college, this state used to be one of the not so topmost states. But what a grand change it has brought about. You go into the streets of Hyderabad today, it looks like Shanghai and one of the best cities. The vigor, the enthusiasm of people, the IT industry. See, the IT industry, the revolution is being now carried out in pharmaceuticals, and it needs to be carried out in biopharmaceuticals. This is also a great occasion to celebrate the spirit of this place. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for that. Because at the end of the day, we are terribly sentimental, emotional Indians. We move by emotion. And this is a very emotional event because I foresee in my small little mind that this is a harbinger of great change. Other states will look at the success that this will wreak. One is pretty sure, because this state has tasted success. This state has realized how to take ideas into fruition. And I think this, with all my best wishes, Shankar Prasad ji, a very close friend, he invited me here, and I'm very privileged and happy to be with such a distinguished audience. And I bid you all the best, and I hope that I will get the opportunity like this today to visit and see the progress of this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind and encouraging words. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Now I would like to invite Shri M.S. Shankar Prasad Garu, Advisor, Andhra Pradesh Bulk Drug Park, to join us on dais and make a brief and informative presentation on the proposed bulk drug park. Shri Shankar Prasad Garu is a life science industry veteran and advising various governments on policy making and projects implementation. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri M.S. Shankar Prasad Garu.
Good evening all, distinguished dignitaries and my industry colleagues and friends. First, I would like to thank you all for joining the event on our invitation, though we are invited all in a very short notice. But once again, thank you all. Basically, this journey has started maybe 3 years back. After being an entrepreneur, I have seen what kind of issues, especially small and medium entrepreneurs, facing it out. If you take the life sciences, majority of the time, we'll be spending running around on so many issues. It might be finance, might be regulatory, so many things. After returning from US, when I started my industry, the first 1.5 years, I used to spend not less than 95% in my lab. But when I look back in the third year, hardly I'm spending 10-20%. I'm running around pillar to post. Being a small and medium company, and I had to look after everything, administration, accounting, regulatory, this clearance, that clearance. So based on these experiences, what we thought of is that why can't we design an integrated model so that a technocrat, a scientist, has to concentrate on the business or manufacturing. Let the others looked by whether the government or the policymakers or the people, park administrators. Based on this interaction with industry and other things, we have done it. And still a lot more has to be done. And we are looking forward for your suggestions and advices to make this park as the global destination. So what are the futures of the park, what we are trying to do? I just have a small presentation. And again, these are all based on our personal experience and my all industry colleagues. We have taken the feedback. Still a lot has to be done. I'm looking forward, please. Now, that's what I'm telling you, the integrated park. So whatever the services, utilities, or whether it is intangible, intangible, we want to bring it at one source so that the core promoter or entrepreneur has to concentrate on the manufacturing. Based on what the Uday Bhaskar Garu has said, this to make India self-sustainable in bulk drugs. The subject is being pursued by various veterans. Uday Bhaskar Garu is there, Cheneligo is there, and one of our colleagues, Dr. Srinivas Lanka. They're all pursuing from years together to have a separate dedicated policy on bulk drugs. How to make India a self-reliant and what kind of support system we can give to the industry based on a lot of deliberations and then knowledge support by institutions like CSR. Dr. Nangya is here. He was one of the instrumental in giving a policy document to Government of India, Department of Pharmacy. So this policy has come after a long wait, where Government of India has announced to provide 3 bulk drug parks. And as Madam has told, 3 parks were selected. And we are really fortunate to have Andhra as one of the things, and the only park in the South India. And then others are hill state of Himachal and the Gujarat. So this is the program what here again, they have identified some 14 APIs and 56 KMs. But this is not limited to only this thing. As Uday Bhaskar has said, Garu has said, there are a number of things are there. And unfortunately, once upon a time, we used to be the bulk drug capital. And when IDPL was there, Dr. Reddy, Sarabindu, they started their everything activity in bulk drugs only. Slowly, we lost the momentum and we gone to the formulations and other things. Now we are facing the issue. And yesterday when I was speaking to somebody, they told me that if China stops something, we won't be having the very basic paracetamol. So that we have to come out and we have to make it self-reliant on bulk drugs. But if you see on the knowledge base, we are the world leaders. If you see any world best pharma company, I'm sure at least 30% are Indians. I've been to Eli Lilly, I've been to Roche, so many institutions. Wherever I see some head of the R&D or somebody, and some Indian is there. So when we are having the knowledge, when we are having the government support, central government is ready to support, and state government is ready to support, why can't we become the world leader in the bulk drug box? With that motive, this park has been designed. Now Andhra Pradesh is a pharma capital. As we all know that, whether it is the unified Andhra Pradesh, now separated Andhra and Telangana, Andhra is known as the bulk drug capital. If you take Andhra Pradesh, we got Achyutapuram, we got India's best pharma park, Jawaharlal Nehru Pharmaceutical Park is there, and we got Ranastali, we got Paidi Bhimvaram. There are so many things are there. So now to give that further boost to the industry, so a bulk drug park is being proposed in Kakinada. Now coming to this park is going to spread in 2,000 acres with a complete ecosystem, and where it's considered to be morning also when we had having some discussion with somebody, they're saying that the kind of concept we are trying to bring it out. It seems to be a world-class facility, not only the tangible like common effluent treatment plant, steam, power, solvents, other things, with the help of eminent personalities like Dr. Sahni, Dr. Nangia, and Dr. Chainalu. We want to provide the intangible support also, what is required for this, especially small and micro industry. We are trying to provide that. The main key constituencies are APIs, intermediate KSMs, and the research and development. One of the major thing lacking is we are very poor in research and development. That one way is the government spendings, but even from our side also, we are not that motivated to go on research. We are looking for a very short gains. And the cost. So in order to overcome all these things, a dedicated research R&D facility is being provided on a use and pay basis with the help of various institutions are joining, NCL is joining, and as Mr. Rene has told, UNIDO want to support with respect to technology transfer, wherever we need, want to getting some technology or support. As an individual, if we go anywhere, I don't think we won't be able to get any support. But an institution like UNIDO is there. We will be able to approach world best class institutions. And the location is the famous Kakinada. Once upon a time, it is known as paradise for retired people, because where all the people. And then, just interesting point is that Kakinada is the second well-planned city in India after Chandigarh. So that's what somebody has told me, that Kakinada is the second well-planned city in India after Chandigarh. So it is having enough education institutions are there. Already one port is there and another port is coming up, and industrial ecosystem is there. So this is going to be a best place, and one of the major advantages on the sea coast, especially whenever you talk of APIs and intermediates, the effluent treatment is a costly affair. So we got a marine discharge, that's a unique feature is here. And then this park is directly connected with the Bharatmala Road, and direct railway linkage also being provided because new port is coming up. And it's hardly an hour drive from Rajahmundry Airport. And this is a kind of a design we have done it out, master design, and I'm thankful to Sridhar, they have done it a wonderful job. So here we are taking all the precautions, environmental precautions. It's one way, though it's a bulk drug park, I can say it's a green technology. And taking the blue revolution, means the sea, into the picture. So we are trying to create a green zone with a common effluent treatment plant and all the things. And then based on whatever the experiences we are having, so we are divided into each and every zone. This is going to have, now APIs are there. Now the government also want to concentrate on the fermentation. We have a separate fermentation division is there. And ancillary industries are there. And amenities. Amenities, everybody looking for a lot of support is there. Amenities have been created. And mixed use. And the utilities. If you take in the pharma and life science industry, generally we spend not less than more than 30 to 40% on the utilities and services. If you can bring down that utilities under common facilities, I think we'll be able to cut down a lot of capex as well as operational costs. That's what we are trying to do here. And then here are the things. Now, as I told you, clean and green solutions, wherever it is possible, we are trying to adopt the green technologies. And then solvent recovery, because solvents plays a very vital role in the, especially bulk drug industries. We are going to have a solvent recovery. And then common laboratory, as I told you, R&D is crucial for this bulk drug park. And then with the help of Dr. Sahani and other things, we are going to have a cell bank also to have different strains for getting different fermentation or other pharma products. And then we are going to have a center of excellence. Here, we are going to have a skill development, and getting a qualified or certified manpower is one of the major issues for the pharma sector. Even when I'm, as an entrepreneur, I face the issue, people join me. After 6 months using my facility, my system, they started applying for the jobs. Then one day I had to take a decision. I came here to do something manufacturing, not a training center. So then we stopped taking the freshers. When we go there, freshers are asking me, sir, why don't you give a job? I said, I need an experience. But if I give somebody an opportunity, the other things are happening up. So to come over all the things, we thought that why can't we have a skill development center? And then Andhra Pradesh Skill Development Corporation, the nodal agency is there. And then to have a certified program with respect to quality control, various production, everything. And it was certified by Life Science Sector Skill Corporation is ready to join us. So that the industry is going to get a qualified people. Again, I'm repeating you, industry doesn't want to do a charity. They want to become a training center. They want to have a qualified people. May not be suitable for your best of your service, but at least they should know the basic knowledge. By seeing the present educational system, we thought that there has to be some skill development manpower has to be provided to the industry. That's why we had a skill development center. And then Mr. Rene is telling about incubation and innovation. We are going to have an incubation and innovation center. And just only Dr. Chenelli is mentioning, why can't we have necessary recognition from DSAR and other things, so that whenever somebody is joining for innovation incubation, they should get the facilities are kind of available, what are the schemes are available in the government of India with respect to funding, knowledge, everything. And then emergency center and waste management. Waste management, we are talking about liquid CETP, but what about the solid waste that we are going to generate? So in this contest, we are trying to get one of the best technologies available there to have a kind of, again, green environment. Again, smart solutions. So smart solutions means, I think this is only the park where we are getting experts from artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D, and IoT. Recently, I have done some kind of interactive with some people. They say that by involving these activities along with mathematical modeling, we'll be able to cut down the production cost by more than 30%. Maybe around 4-5 years back, I happened to interact one of the Russian guy called Sergei Uklayko. He is considered to be an expert in mathematical modeling. During his work with various companies, by applying mathematical modeling, he has got the production cost as well as increased the productivity by more than 30%. So these are the kind of intangible support we would like to have to the park. As an individual entity, it's not easy, or maybe I don't say easy also, it's next to impossible to approach these kind of senior faculty people, senior scientists. So when as a group, if we approach, then we'll be able to do wonders. And then again, these are the some kind of, don't make me this as a general dig and then catch my neck tomorrow. Based on the rough estimation, this has been done. While coming to the park, what are the advantages? Because at the end of the day, everybody looking for numbers. So as per our estimations are concerned, one thing is the profits. We are confident of increasing the profits by 15 to 20% when somebody comes to the park. And the major thing is the reduction of land requirement. When the solvents are coming under common facility, when the steam is come under common facility, so that a lot of land can be used for only, and then the warehouse. These are all come under common facility. So even with the land requirement also will come down. And as an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, for a startup company or a small and medium, land and buildings are going to be a dead investment till we reach some sustainability. So here, this is one advantage is there. And then capital expenses. So since we are getting all this affiliated treatment plant, warehouse, steam, on the common facilities, our capital costs come down so drastically, not less than by 20-30%. That will increase operational expenses. So one of the major thing is why, as Dr. Uday Bhaskar has said, the price competition with the Chinese. So we are trying to do our best so that how to best to support the industry to bring down their capital as well as operational costs. And the major thing is, especially the life science industry is facing ease of doing business. Whenever you go there, from morning, with a due respect to the government agency, if anybody is there, pollution control board, boiler, fire, explosion, these are all the things we have to take on a day-to-day note. And then majority of the entrepreneurs, they'll be spending most of their time in clearing all these things rather than concentrating on the core business as well as manufacturing. To come out of all these things, we bought everything under common facility so that the promoters or the entrepreneurs will be able to take care of only on the manufacturing or the technology side. And again, the skilled manpower. So we are going to provide a skilled manpower in association with the industry, and the industry will be able to train the younger generation as per their requirement. We don't want to impose anything on neither students nor the industry. Let the industry come, train the people, and then give the employment. Now, knowledge and technical partner. There's all the renowned person from CSIR here, and Mr. Rene has come on virtual to provide necessary what are the support is required. This main I can say that intangible support, not the knowledge support, which we are lacking now. So whether it might be a fermentation based, we need a different kind of strains are required to increase the productivity or to go for mutation. This requires some kind of a knowledge support. So we got CSIR, they have done enough research. As far as I know, they have more than 100 to 150 products they already commercialized. And whatever is there, because they got a huge facilities, any support is required from our side also to increase the research and development, they are ready to support. And then Skill Development Corporation, as I told you, to support, to give us the qualified manpower, APS is ready to join. And the UNIDO. A lot of people ask me, why you are getting an international organization, why the Pakis want to have these things. Now, when to have a global presence, we need somebody, a kind of UNIDO, to take us into the global level. It is not easy for a common industry to reach some people, or if you want to reach some a big research group or technology transfer. So we need an institution like UNIDO. As Mr. Rene said that they are doing a wonderful job. And in this contest, I just want to mention, out of the 6 districts selected for in Andhra Pradesh for sustainable transformation, Vizag is one of the districts was selected by UNIDO. So they are also taking a lot of initiatives, not only on the knowledge based, what of the latest technologies are there, technology interventions are there, they are going to give the lead to us so that whatever is possible we can implement in the industry. Yeah, this is what about the smart and integrated AP Bulk Drug Park. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shankar Prasad, sir. Another huge round of applause for him. Thank you so much for taking us through this presentation of Andhra Pradesh Bulk Drug Park. And yes, I'm sure that you all have a lot of queries running in your mind. So hold it right there, because we're going to have a very interesting interactive session at the end of all the speakers. All right. On that note, let us move on to our next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us virtually present Dr. Viranchi Shah, the National President of Indian Drug Manufacturers Association. And he's along with us. Can we check his availability? Yes, sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Wonderful. He is a pioneer and well-known personality and active member of IDMA. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having IDMA on this platform. I congratulate the state of Andhra Pradesh for initiating this bulk drug park. I understand there are almost 14 contenders for this pass, for the bulk drug park under the PLI, out of which the 3 best have been chosen, and Andhra Pradesh is among the 3 best applications that the government has received. The entire concept of the bulk drug park was an outcome of an interaction, effort from the Prime Minister's office. And IDMA would put on record our sincere appreciations to the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, and the Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Mansukh Bhai Mandavia, who have jointly done a lot of efforts towards the PLI 1, PLI 2, and several other initiatives aimed at strengthening the Indian pharmaceutical industry. I was just listening to the presentation by Mr. Shankar Prasad, and it looks like the kind of project that has been put forward is that the entrepreneur has to just come with an entrepreneur will and idea, and rest everything is available with the park. So you have an integrated park with a lot of holistic things available. The green chemistry is there, the skill development is there, the innovation and incubation centers are there, the waste management has been thought of. So it has been a very wonderful thought of initiative by the government of Andhra Pradesh, and it really needs appreciation from IDMA. One and all who are in the pharma industry, we all understand that there is a huge tailwind that is helping the growth of this industry. It took us almost 75 years for us to reach from 0 to 50 billion. And most of the trends suggest that by 2047, by the time India reaches 100 years of its independence, we are likely to scale from 50 billion to 500 billion. And this massive growth is possible only if we have a strong API industry to support the formulation industry. And in this context, the bulk drug pass, all the 3 are very important for the IDMA and for our members and for the industry, especially Andhra Pradesh, because Andhra Pradesh also happens to be one of the most important manufacturers, one of the most prominent manufacturers and suppliers of API to India and to the world. So I'm sure this park is going to help give impetus to this Indian story of growth from $50 billion to $500 billion by 2047. And the self-sufficiency, the self-reliance in API industry will help this industry grow forward. My congratulations to the government of Andhra Pradesh and the industry, especially the bulk drug industry in the Andhra Pradesh, and we all will strive to make this effort a success. Once again, thank you for having it on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your views on the bulk drug park. Now let us move on to our next speaker and invite him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I request Sri Ishwar Reddy Garu, the Executive Director, Bulk Drug Manufacturers Association of India, to please join us on stage. Mr. B. Ishwar Reddy Garu is the Executive Director of Bulk Drug Manufacturing Association of India. He is an associative member of bulk drug from the last 3 decades. So ladies and gentlemen, please can we welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much. Distinguished delegates, all the government officials, and the representatives from the industry. Maybe the earlier distinguished speakers have already given you a background of the history, progress, growth at pharma industry, what is the requirement. Maybe I would like to go into little bit of core technical things. Because of my exposure to setting up an industrial park, which is the Jawaharlal Nehru Pharma City, which was put up, I was the chief executive, so I have some experience which could be of use for planning this industrial park. And through BDMA, we have been also advising, even participating in a lot of discussions on this industrial park. There are DOP and other state governments and given our feedback. In fact, most of our inputs have been incorporated in the notification issued by the government. We were also involved in the Katoch committee also. Now, as regards what is the necessity of bulk drug parks, because the demand is increasing, the lifestyles are increasing, and we also have to have our own self-sufficiency rather than depending too much on the imports, particularly for some of the products. We are dependent almost more than 90-95%. And particularly this is the case with respect to antibiotics. And I am very happy that this industrial park is also going to concentrate on fermentation industry, but it has its own competitions and other things which we have to face, particularly a country like China. Now, other thing, if you see, when we talk about China, competition and other things, yes, definitely there could be a gap of around 20-25% the overall cost. The main reasons for the advantage for the Chinese industry is that their capacities are very large, almost 5 to 6 or sometimes 10 times the what capacities we have. So they have a economy of scale. Second thing is their utility costs are much competitive. Land is also very competitive prices given. Government gives quite a lot of incentives, particularly for exports. The only thing which they are slightly lesser than us is the cost of manpower. Cost of manpower in China is little high, and the quality. And of course, nowadays even China is concentrating on environmental protection and other things. Otherwise, earlier the rules were much lenient, and almost 2 years back, more than 400 to 500 companies have been closed down, which has created a lot of shortage of availability of APIs in the world market. But now the company is gearing up to meet the standards. Now next, maybe I may take a little bit more time, if it is okay with you, otherwise, okay. Next, what are the benefits of an industrial park? One of the benefit is an industrial park promoted by a government or an entrepreneur. They take care from all aspects, particularly with respect to connectivity, road connectivity, rail connectivity, air connectivity, and if it next support, sea connectivity. This plays a very important role in getting the chemicals, transportation chemicals, which are also sometimes very hazardous in nature. Second thing is because all the industries are located at one place and there are going to be common facilities, the amount of land requirement by an individual industry can even come down by 50%, because nowadays the land cost has become very exorbitant. Any state if you go, every state, even without any development, they say that the per acre is 1 crore. And in a developed areas, it's 2 to 3 crores. Now imagine if an MSME unit has to put up a unit, can you do it? This is a problem. Then once the individual industry is not putting up a common investment in common facilities, investment in their plant will come down. It may come down by 30%. For suppose if I don't have to invest in environmental systems, if I don't want to invest in common utilities, my space requirement has come, my money requirement come down, my manpower requirement also will come down. So this is another advantage. Next is all the approvals which generally the industry has to run around are given as a single window, or the state government really helps in getting the approvals. Like if you see in Vizag, the industrial park has taken an environment clearance and approval for this much quantity of effluents will generate. Now, we just allocate the quantity of low TDS effluents, quantity of high TDS effluents to the industry, and they just make an application pollution control board and they approve based on the acreage, So they don't have to run around for again environment clearance and other things. One more major advantage of putting up a facility in an industrial park, because with my own experience of around 40 years in the chemical industry, when the industry comes, everybody will come and invite you, bless you, give you encouragement. Once you start operations, now the politics will start. This is the biggest nuisance. The politics will start from different angles. You've got local NGOs, you've got local people, you've got local politicians, you've got local authorities, you've got local politicians, you've got local reporters. This is a big network. This becomes a big headache. But once you are in the industrial estate, you get a lot of protection and support from others. So you have that unity with you. Now, these are general things. Now, coming to the basic infrastructure in an industrial park, one is, it is ensured that adequate water is available, because for a chemical industry, in fact, even in some places I've seen, because of shortage of water, the industry had to cut down their production and even stop production. So this is one thing which is ensured. You get a good quality water. Second thing is, now we are strongly advocating that you go for a cogen plants and supply power and steam, centralized steam, so that individual industries need not go for their own boiler, their own sourcing of coal, manpower, land, ash disposal. This is centralized. We can do it. Maybe I transport the steam, generate the steam maybe at around 40 bar or 60 bar or 67 bar and generate power with a back pressure turbine, and the balance steam maybe around 12 bar or 15 bar. I transport across the industrial park, where the industries can have a PRV stations and take steam at 8 bar or 10 bar, whatever is required. With this, what happens, the overall steam generation cost will come down, because you will be able to source either the coal or fuel at a very competitive price. You can get it in bulk. You can even go to the international markets and get, if it is a coal, maybe Indonesia or Russia. Fourth thing is your manpower. Operating 100 boilers is different. Operating 2 or 3 boilers is different, Plus, you can have a highly technically qualified operator for these things, so that you get a quality steam. Similarly, DM water. We are also telling most of the governments that please try to go for a cogen with a power. Then what happens, we should be able to give power at a very competitive price to the industry, rather than as compared to taking the power from the government supply. Why? Because government has an obligation to doling out a lot of benefits to the general public, and this cost is loaded onto your power. See, the power a government may source at around 3 rupees or 4 rupees, but what they charge you is 7 rupees. Because there are certain commitments of the government. But whereas if I have got my own captive power plant, then these can be avoided. Or alternatively, maybe government should look at giving certain equities to power plants which are set up like NTPC and other things, so that you get power at a bulk rate and only pay the weaning charges. This way also, the industry can benefit, because any entrepreneur will look at what is my land cost, what is my power cost, what is my water cost, and what is my manpower cost. Chemicals and all, wherever I buy, it will be the same. So even if you put up a unit somewhere in the desert, they will go if you give all this at this. As an example, if you see, government has given certain taxes in that Himachal Pradesh, Badi, everybody has gone there, formulations. So same type. So entrepreneur will not look, this is my state or that state. They will only look at my profitability, my company running. So this is how they have to concentrate. Second thing, while we are supplying a steam, centralized steam, we should also encourage the industries to go for a vapor absorption systems and have a chilled water directly from the steam. Because one of the major power consumption in a process industry is in cooling towers and chilled water compressors as compared to the process. So here also it becomes very competitive. And when an industrial park is next to the seashore, in fact, I have seen in a couple of places in China, other place, the seawater is used indirectly like a thermal power plants where you have got a cooling circuit water and seawater is the main coolant. So your makeup water in the cooling towers will be zero because the seawater gets evaporated. So wherever if the water is very costly and other things, the promoters or designers should think of a common cooling water circuit. Among other common facilities, the most important is the effluent treatment plant and waste handling. In that layout which has shown, probably this has been accounted in the utilities because there is no specific area shown for CETPs. Okay, okay, sir. Right. Now, effluent treatment is one of the core things for the chemical industry. I remember when earlier this concept was almost 60 to 70% of our time was going only on attending to effluent things rather than attending to main production. Now, if this activity is taken over by an operator or an industrial promoter, the industry is safe. He has to give a guarantees and put up a full-fledged treatment plant. The technology is available, investment can be done, and experts in CETP can operate. See, if I manufacture bulk drug, I may be an expert in bulk drug, I may not be an expert in CETP. I should know how to handle low TDS effluents, I should know how to handle high TDS effluents, I should know how to do the air stripping of solvents, how to do the destruction, how to operate the incinerator, landfill, all those things. So see, in fact, this is exactly what we are also doing. Of course, there are issues. It's not that there are no issues, but we can address it in a much more sound way than an individual industry doing it. Second thing is, particularly for this Kakinada unit, I am also requesting the authorities and road design to take more care because you are looking at fermentation industry. Fermentation industry, biological treatment and all could be slightly better and gas generation, but there could be an issues of order. So that you have to address. And particularly order issues, you may address in CETP, but all the individual industries also you have to take care that they provide adequate order measures because that becomes a big nuisance. This I am just cautioning, you might be already addressing. Now these are, of course, and the roads, power distribution, street lighting, these are all very common, anybody does it. Now as regards the other facilities which a promoter can think of and which can benefit the industrial units within the park are common warehouses. See, I need not construct a big warehouse in my factory. Whenever it comes, I take it on a lease, some area and put it. Then these warehouses can be equipped adequately with respect to fire protection, fire detection, and all those things. Plus, you can also have a cold storage facilities where some chemicals have to be stored at a low temperature. You can also think of a customs bonded warehouse where any industry importing, they can just put it in the customs bonded warehouse, and as and when I draw a batch sample, I pay the duty. Otherwise, I don't have to. Now, if I create from the port, I have to pay the duty for the entire container and bring it. This makes a lot of difference. Similarly, of course, in Vizag, we could not do, we were a little late. We can also think of introducing bulk solvents storage facilities. In fact, we had discussions with, in fact, HPCL and all. They were also willing to stock solvents like hexane, toluene, furnace oil, diesel, and charge only when the industry lifts it, This way it helps. Second thing is particularly MSME units, their requirement is small. They have to go to the trader in Bombay and buy, who again charges another 10%. The promoter can import in bulk, keep it, because most of the solvents are common. Whether it's a methylene chloride, whether anything, it can be imported in bulk, you have a tankage, and as and when the industry wants a fresh makeup solvent, he goes and takes it. I don't have to keep a stock of fresh makeup solvents, this is my premise. Similarly, any other intermediates, other things can be done like this, and can be a marginal profit can be taken by the promoter. Similarly, centralized medical facilities. See, one thing what you have to do is that you have to get the total industrial park defined as one factory. Otherwise, as per the factory rules, every industry with more than so many people have to have their own first aid center, have their own ambulance and all. So if I declare that my whole industrial estate is the government declares that a park, then I can have only one centralized big medical emergency center to take care of all emergencies, including adequate ambulances, everything, Our doctors, all those things will be available in call, because 2,000 acres is not a big area. It may be 1 kilometer this way, 1 kilometer that way. Within minutes, you can reach. It's like Vizag Farm, it is 2,400, 2,500. It is 2 kilometers one side and 3 kilometers other side. Okay. Then centralized fire station, firefighting. You can also think of providing all fire hydrant and fire services to the industry, maintain the fire extinguishers, fire hydrant, everything in a centralized and charge the industry. This could be one way you can think of. Then workshops. See, every industry can have their minimum workshop requirement, but all the centralized, sophisticated workshop, you can have a centralized facility with the members can acquire, like overhauling a pump or motor winding or changing a mechanical seal or some fabrication of thing. Industries can have only some fitters and technicians to do the regular jobs in the shift. This way, I don't have to invest in lathe machine, dry grinding machine, all those things. Then transport also can be thought of. If I am running an industry, I may have to run buses coming from all the 4 directions and in all the shifts and general shift. Instead of that, you have got a fleet of buses operated by the park level authority. You can have like a RTC bus, you can have buses from all directions exclusively for pharmacy, running for shift, general shift and all. It becomes much cheaper also, and in all directions I can provide the transport. In fact, this also we have been discussing, but it was not successful. In fact, we had discussed with the company of Sodax and all. Why can't you have a centralized canteen facility, fully hygienic, and they supply timely food or refreshments, everything to industry, like in the airports, what we do, and just they can have a transport trucks and give it. It becomes easy, and each industry can just have a dining hall, and their employees can use it. One thing I would also suggest is that, if possible, try to make a provision for a clubhouse and a hostel. Particularly, hostel will benefit a lot of these young engineers or young people who newly join the job and who do not have accommodation. They can be just within the park and be in a hostel, which will be very helpful to them with a mess and other things. At the same time, somebody can think of a centralized warehousing where they can stock all materials like mechanical seals or bearings or consumables, gaskets, which industries need not. As and when required, I go and buy suppose a 6-inch mechanical seal, if I want to buy it at 3 lakhs, I keep it in my store. I may use it immediately when the breakdown there. I may use it after 5 years. I don't know when the breakdown takes place, but my capital is blocked. If suppose somebody is keeping for me, I can go and take it. No? Then in addition to this, you can also think of some facilities like an innovation center to encourage young promoters and R&D, and analytical central analytical facilities. Particularly, it will be useful for MSME units, because big units can afford sophisticated and costly instruments, but MSMEs. Then a training center, because ultimately the availability of a skilled manpower exclusively suitable for a production chemical process industry is becoming difficult. So you can have a training center. Plus, this training center can also meet the requirement of the industry's statutory commitment under Apprentices Act, because every industry 2.5% of their manpower they have to take apprentices. Lastly, you can also think of, because now we are also very good at IT, you can also have a central IT hub with all the servers central where the industries can have their servers. I don't have to keep my server, my networking and other things. I can use that with a protocol, secrecy and other things. I just have a terminals. Even the terminals can be maintained by the IT hub operator. If my terminal is damaged, take it, put a new one. This way it can help, and you can have a IT towers and high-speed connectivity. Maybe a lot of things will solve once you get the 5G, but still you can think of this. I think these are some of the things which I wanted to say, and I'm sure APIs has already got a very good experience, particularly in the chemical process side. You've got chemical industry in Srikakulam, Paidibiraram, Vizag, Kakinada, and up to Nellore. They've got even large major chemical industries like refineries and fertilizers. So I'm sure they will come up with a good project. And please ensure that time is not lost. Maximum 2 to 2.5 years. From the date you start, within 2.5 years, you should be able to commission. And at least minimum, the entrepreneurs also will start constructing their factory. The minimum startup, like kickoff, at least if 25 to 30% of the park is occupied and start functioning, automatically it will start growing. You don't have to do much marketing, automatically it will start occupying, and generally 5 to 7 or 10 years it will take to fully occupy, to fully gain the occupancy, 100% occupancy. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable suggestions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of all the speakers. First of all, thank you very much to every single speaker. Can we hear it for them? All the speakers, virtually, physically. But we have our guest of honor, and it gives me immense pleasure to please request him also to please say a few words. I'm sure everyone over here wants to listen from him. I request Dr. Ashwin Kumar, the former director of National Chemical Laboratories, to please join us on stage to say a few words.
Good evening, one and all. Mr. Shankar Prasad ji, Dr. Girish Sahani, Mr. Ishwar Reddy, several dignitaries, members from the industry, from the R&D organizations, from the business houses, and media, if they are present here. I really want to, there's nothing really much that I can add after all the roadmap which Shri Shankar Prasad ji presented, and the very detailed, minute analysis to detail which we got in the presentation just before this from Mr. Reddy, who has actually seen this, who has done this earlier. All I can say is that I think the industry is here, the R&D organizations is here, the infrastructure is here, the governmental support is here. I want to wish the Pharma Park in AP, Kakinada, all the very best, and we wish and pray that it comes up very soon so that we are able to implement the PLI scheme towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words. Last but of course not the least, I would please request Dr. A.V. Chainulu, the former director, DSIR, Government of India, to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here and talking about it. But as a background person, one of the background person who prepared the guidelines for all this, PLI scheme as well as the Spark scheme and all that from the ministry. We have taken several things into consideration while formulating the guidelines itself. And all the three institutions which have been given the park, 3 state governments, they practically follow, at least on the paper they have given whatever that is required in the things, and they got the things. The only problem in India is, the implementation. Conversion of an idea into implementation, this is what we are struggling right from 30, 40 years onwards. You must be knowing the first knowledge park that has come because of the efforts of Dr. Mashelkar, ICICI Knowledge Park, and the first CEO of that was Dr. Subbarao, who is the scientist in DSR. Later on, of course, Deepanvita Chaudhary and all these people, they have taken over, and then now that's a very successful model. So the implementation, that time there was no competition. Now, these kind of parks, etc., they have got competition. But the positive or the flip side of it is, we have the facilities, all facilities are cleared. At the industrial people and the people who are trying to start an industry, they didn't have to bother about the small nuances as many people have told. So I expect and I wish that this park should implement the things with the milestones and so on. See, within 6 months this should be done, 1 year it should be done. Like that we should have the milestones and the completion, because as you know, our Prime Minister is very successful in one point, that is implementation as per the time schedules. Any analyst, political analyst will say this, whether it is, you can take about the HAL, the aircraft avionics industry, ISRO, wherever the successful things have come, because as per that schedules they are doing it. And I wish the park a successful kind of this thing. And it should come in the time limit, where the time limits are very crucial nowadays, because nobody has time to go on waiting till you prepare a park, start an industry, develop a product and all these kind of things. Nobody has got a time like that. And then the needs of the markets, whether it is Indian markets or the world markets, are very, very dynamic. What is required 5-10 years back, it will become totally obsolete. We have funded some of the projects from the DSR side also. They become totally obsolete by the time it came out. So the most crucial thing is, while concentrating on the business models, the industry people, the parks also should complete as per time and should complete the things in a time-bound manner. Thank you very much, and I wish the park to be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, to emphasize on schedule and timelines. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to an end of this spectacular evening. There were some prominent speakers who had taken their precious time out, been over here in the meet, and shared their kind words with all of us and knowledge. So, keeping that in mind, we have a small little token, a memento, which we would like to give to us speakers. Well, we are quite inspired by nature. One of the speakers were even emphasizing on green, go green. So keeping that in mind, we have a very, very interesting memento for all our speakers today. Well, to make it convenient for all of you, there would be our volunteers who would be handing over the mementos to our speakers. As you are sitting, we'll not disturb you much, and we'll see to it that those beautiful mementos are being given to our speakers. Well, I have thanked everyone personally, but there is one gentleman who would... Okay, sir. All right, so there's a request that all our speakers are requested to please join us back on stage. I promise you, this is the last time we are troubling you. So I request all our speakers to please join us on stage. Yes, of course, the ones who are here. Well, virtually all our wishes are with them, and I hope the mementos do reach them some point of time. Once again, Shri Uday Bhaskar Garu, I request you to please join us. Dr. Girish Sani, sir. I request Mr. M.S. Shankar Prasad ji also to join us. Shri Ishwar Reddy Garu, I request you to please join us on stage. And of course, we had our esteemed guest, Dr. Ashwin Kumar ji, and Dr. A.V. Chainulu, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being here today. We have a very interesting and beautiful mementos for you. I hope you remember this day and this evening for a very long time. Can we have the mementos on stage, please? We have some wonderful ladies who will help us out with that. Ladies and gentlemen, let us please say thank you to all of them with a huge round of applause. I once again take this opportunity on behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh. We thank every single speaker, and of course, I would even like to thank every single person sitting on their seats and patiently listening to the entire presentation, the speakers. So thank you very much for being here today. Every single speaker who have joined us has vast experience in their own respective fields, and it means a lot. Let us just capture this moment together. Thank you so much, sir. Well, I have thanked everyone, but there is one gentleman who would definitely come on stage, and for which I request Shri T.K. Sridhar Garu, the Head of Technical L&T Infra Engineering, to please join us on stage for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of L&T, we thank you for giving an opportunity to say a vote of thanks to this esteemed gathering this evening. We would like to thank the prominent speakers who have graced this occasion, who are representing the knowledge and the technical strengths of these pillars of this country, to start this event with the lighting ceremony, which was a great start, sir. We thank you to this forum. And we also thank Ms. Srujana Garu, VCMD, APIC, for her wonderful keynote address, which which started the event in a very graceful manner. And we also thank Sri Gudivada Amarnath Garu, Honorable Minister of Industries and Commerce, for his encouraging words and the support being given by Government of Andhra Pradesh under the guidance of Honorable Chief Minister Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu. So thank you, sir, for your words. These words are encouraging to the industry and attracting investments to the Kakinada Bulldrug Park. Similarly, we also thank Mr. Van, who is representing UNIDO, for his valuable suggestions for developing eco-industrial parks, sir. Definitely, we follow your suggestions and implied all these things in the environmental aspects to make it Kakinada one of the best eco-industrial parks, sir. We also thank all the industry leaders here who participated, who took their time out and came and graced this event and all, and make this evening very encouraging and enlightening us. We thank all of you for gracing this evening. And lastly, on behalf of Larsen & Toubro Infrastructure Engineering, I would like to thank Government of India, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to give us an opportunity to be a partner of this great project, Bulldrug Park. We sincerely thank you, sir, in being part of this, and definitely will deliver our best thing. And in the last second, sir, my Chief of Operations is there online. I would like to speak one word, and with this, we'll end this evening. Thank you very much for the patience, sir. Gangadharam, please. Gangadharam.
Am I audible?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, first of all, we would like to thank everyone who has given the suggestions. I think to the extent possible, we have implemented it, but whatever is missing within the framework of the project, we will try to implement. And we sincerely thank Government of Andhra Pradesh, especially the MD Bulk Drug Park and Special Secretary Sir, Chief Secretary Sir, to keep the confidence in us to make this the master plan and the documentation happen. We also thank the entrepreneur as well as our team who has made it possible within a very short time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I think there are no more thank yous which has to be, told to anybody. Sir has very nicely thanked every single person. So with that, we come to an end of this spectacular meet. Once again, thank you. All right. And we will end with few questions. I'm sure every single person over here may be having a lot or few questions revolving around their mind. But our dignitaries, our speakers, they all are here for the social networking, and you can meet them over the dinner, drinks, and catch hold of them and ask all the questions you can. They're here to answer the questions. Am I right, sir? Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Sabrina signing off. Goodbye, good night. Have a wonderful, wonderful year ahead. And of course, please do join us for dinner, drinks. Our dignitaries are here. Sir, I hope you can take as many questions as you can.